No, play won't stop if helmets come off. But if you're playing the CHL and your helmet comes off, the player will skate to the bench. So again, just being true to the rules of hockey around the world and all the different leagues that we have. More difficult. I'm gonna guess that you're asking me about going left, right, left, and then in. Is probably the question that you're asking me. So some of you guys know Nate, um, one of our gameplay producers. It's his sole mission to make sure that that goal does not score every single time. So he's been testing it out. Actually, in fact, a couple of guys, some pretty hardcore players have been playing the game down here and trying that move out as well. And they were impressed by the goalies and how well they're able to handle that situation right now. So again, with the goalies getting better, that's one of the things we looked at too, because we see the way you guys play. Yeah. So puck physics. Again, using the full contact physics engine, just working on better, more realistic balances. The other thing you'll see, especially in the Winter Classic, you're going to see a lot more rolling pucks this year, which is pretty cool. It'll create some pretty cool gameplay moments, rolling pucks on broken sticks and launching off those. So puck physics are definitely improved and something we've worked on. What can I tell you about the EA Sports Hockey League? I can tell you that we love how many people play in the EA Sports Hockey League. We love how passionate people are. I've ran into so many people here at E3 that play nothing but the EA Sports Hockey League. I can tell you that we have some pretty cool announcements coming up about the EA Sports Hockey League. Can't talk about it quite yet, but it's something we'll roll out probably in the next couple of weeks. And the stuff that we're doing is reacting directly to the feedback from you guys. So once we announce it, make sure you send us your feedback because I think you'll be really pleased. Yeah, what AI is, such an important part of our game that we focus on the AI, both the offensive AI, like I mentioned before, the neutral zone, the offensive zone, and also the defensive AI too, because when we talk about exploits, if the defensive AI isn't good enough, you guys will find a way to blow by the D-man every single time. So really trying to just balance the game. When we do stuff with our offensive AI to make sure that to increase the range of speed a little bit, make sure that the top fast guys have that little extra step. We also need to react on the defensive side too with the AI to make sure that they can handle those situations. So the best D-man can still stop that little extra burst of speed. So defensive AI is something that we're working on. We're still working on right now, just making sure that we tune and balance the game properly the way it needs to be. For this year, our first offering with the Winter Classic, it's just as a standalone game mode off the in the front end. You can take whatever team, you take your favorite two teams in there and play in there, but it's for this year, it's not incorporated into the other game modes, but it's definitely something we'll look at down the road. So yes, the players will be coming out of the Shark Head. So when we talk about be a pro too, if you're in the San Jose organization, you'll get a chance to skate through that Shark Head yourself. So our art director's got the Shark Head in there. He's got all the smoke, all the effects. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool skating through there in your Be a Pro. But you also see in versus and play now, you'll see the players coming out there as well. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. We'll be showing that. We also have the oil derrick in Edmonton, so you see the players coming to that too. So probably in the next 3-4 weeks, we'll start showing off some of those videos as well. Referee this year in the game is not going to be live, so he's on the ice, but he's not going to be interacting with the play. There's lots of questions always about whether we have the two referees and the two linesmen on the ice, and part of the reason is that having those 4 extra characters on the ice just really get in the way, and we didn't want the ref getting in the way, but it's something that we'll probably look at, we'll look to do down the road is figure out the best way to incorporate the ref and make him live and have the puck bounce off him and all that stuff, but also keep him out of the action.
For goaltenders.
We'll have the same camera angles that we had last year for goalies. No, we have the same celebrations in the game this year. One of the things that we talk about every single year during pre-production is what are the things that really need to change, based on the feedback that we get from the fans, based on the stuff that we want to put in the game. And we have a finite amount of people working on the game, so we got to figure out where we want to spend our efforts. So we had the celebrations in there last year. We haven't done much to update the celebrations. Instead, we've taken that time to work on just the details and really push those 300 plus gameplay improvements, just making sure all those little details are the way that we want them, the game's tuned and balanced the way that we want. So this year we made the choice to spend less time on things like celebrations and more time just on the details. No. So this year, past couple years actually, we haven't had the authentic coaches in the game. We weren't doing a great job of utilizing the coach license that we had. Mostly it was just an NIS and add that level of authenticity. It's something that we'll look at moving forward. If we ever end up doing like coach mode or something like that, where we can tie it back into a feature, we'll probably start looking at getting the authentic coaches back in there. But right now, um, they're just the guys that stand on the bench, not really impacting the game and not really tied to a feature specifically. So, not for this year, but definitely something we'll look at. How do you trigger goalie fights? So goalie fights, very much like the player fights. You can run the goalie, and if it escalates to a point where the fight overlay will come on, you can accept the fight. Like I mentioned before, sometimes the tough guy will come in and take the fight. Sometimes the goalie, depending on his aggressiveness rating, will take the fight himself. And occasionally you'll see the goalie on goalie fight. So very similar mechanic to what we had before for the player on player fights, but extending it to the goalie. If you're playing in the EA Sports Hockey League, however, what we're talking about right now is just being able to skate out to center ice with user control goalies and fight. Interesting. I'd be interested to hear some feedback on this too from you guys. Is playing in OTP and whether or not the goalies should fight in OTP. EA Sports Hockey League, you're playing with your buddies, and if the goalie wants to go out and fight and cause that pause in the action, then you can talk to your buddy or kick him off your team if he's doing it too much. Online team play where you're playing with strangers, if you get that guy who wants to be that guy and start goalie fights all the time, might not be the best experience. So we're tossing around right now whether or not it should be an online team play. So, send your feedback. Let us know. Right now I'm thinking no though. So if you missed the first,
Or launch.
yeah, if you missed it earlier, the big announcement, like I mentioned before, it's something that I'm really excited about, and I think you guys can be really excited about too. We're probably gonna hold that until closer to launch, but hang tight. It's gonna be awesome. The hardest feature, I think the hardest feature to implement is for us. I think it's the physics, and the reason why the physics is hard to implement is because it's so open-ended, and the physics is driving everything. So when a collision happens, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. In the past, when it was all animation-based, if we saw a bad reaction, we would know the animation of the hitter and the hittee. We could go in there and clean it up and fix it and repro it right away and make sure it looked the way we want it to look, and we'd be done with it. With physics, however, every hit's different. So, getting the exact same angles, exact same speed, exact same players, and be able to repro something is very difficult. So, with physics, the way it works, the way the tuning works, is you get it to probably 90% of the way there, and you just need to spend time on it. Spend time, just keep playing and trying to get all those edge cases, all those extreme conditions. And when you see something, then you got to fix that case without throwing everything out of balance. So the physics is probably the most challenging feature for us to implement every year. The results are amazing; they speak for themselves. But dealing with all the edge cases is something that takes a lot of time and effort. Lots of stuff around Connect here at E3. Microsoft's obviously making a big push with it. For us, we're sitting back. We're still sitting back, I think, with Connect and Move, and even the new Nintendo console, just to kind of see how games are utilizing the peripherals, the hardware. For us, it's a bit of a wait and see. So for 12, no Connect or Move support, but it's something that we're really sitting back and just watching and seeing how people are making the best use out of those systems and how it applies to us. This is just 100% personal, but when I play a game myself, especially a sports game, I like to have the controller in my hand and be sitting on my couch and probably lying down in a horizontal position. So for me personally, it doesn't work, but we're something we're looking at. A clue for the cover? Oh man. No. If I give a clue, I'll just give it away. I can't give a clue. I can't. Like I said, make sure you tune in the NHL awards. The way that we're announcing is something we're all very excited about this year to be on the stage at the awards. So make sure you tune in the awards. We'll see who wins all the Conn Smythe this year. Get the awards presented on stage, and our cover athlete announced as well.
Leave it at that.
Yeah. So battles in front of the net. Really trying to focus on the big strong guys, playing like big strong guys, and using the size and strength to their advantage. So, left stick will engage with the other player. You can drive them out. Also, with the right stick, you can flick, throw cross checks, and again use your size and strength. Also, if you hold the right stick out, what it'll do is it'll tie the player up. And then the flip side is if you're a smaller guy or a guy in front of the net just battling for position, half circles on the left stick will try and spin to get open and get out of the tie-up situation. So, the key here is that both those guys are in single-player animation, so they're not tied up in a two-player animation they can't break out of. So they're always live and always able to make a play.